Would you love to play retirement centre gigs, but you're not sure what songs would actually work? Now, these gigs can be some of the most rewarding and stress-free gigs that you can do. The audiences are warm, appreciative, and they just love songs they can sing along to. My name is Finbar and I'm a full-time gigging musician, and I'm lucky to have an amazing community of experienced, like-minded gigging musicians. Many of them are actually on the path to gigging inside my Pro Gig Academy. Now, Alan, one of our members, recently posted, "I tried unsuccessfully to find this here and on YouTube. What are some good songs for retirement centre gigs? I would think today's seniors," I'm 71 by the way, "would love songs from 1950 to 1980. If you do retirement home gigs, what are your go-to songs?" Now, the responses were incredible, and we have several members inside the community who gig every month in retirement homes, and they shared some of the best songs and tips for these types of gigs. So stay tuned, you do not want to miss this. One of the members, Jerry, he said, "I play about 10 senior centres every month on a rotating basis. What's so great is they really appreciate what you bring to them, almost regardless of the music." Now that is authority right there, somebody who's doing it. I know many of you out there are looking for fun, low pressure gigs, so retirement gigs are really the perfect place for this. You don't need a massive set list, and the connection that you will get with your audience is unlike any other. So let's dive into all the songs and tips that came from the Pro Gig Academy community. I'm going to make 5 categories of songs that came up in the discussion thread and chat through them. So category 1 is classic sing-alongs. These are the songs that just get everybody singing, timeless hits that almost every generation knows, especially those in retirement homes. And once again, Jerry popped up with this very helpful comment. He said that many of the gigs in retirement centres, especially in the US, they can be just 1-hour gigs, which is a lovely, nice, short length. He said, "These are 1-hour shows, so you'll need maybe 12 songs. I always end with God Bless the USA. Most of them love Sweet Caroline. All I have to do is Dream by the Everly Brothers, Fly Me to the Moon, Take Me Home, Country Roads, and just about anything else by John Denver." So in this category, we've got songs like Sweet Caroline, Stand By Me, Benny King, Country Roads, What a Wonderful World, Louis Armstrong, and All I Have to Do is Dream by Everly Brothers. Now, I'm sure many of you out there have played these songs before, but if you haven't, these songs just work every time with a live audience, so it's always worth having them up your sleeve. Now, if you want to play Sweet Caroline in the original key, there's a few ways to do it. I like to put the capo on the 4th fret and play it in G. If that is too high for you, well, then you can just drop the capo to the 3rd fret or the 2nd fret, depending on where your vocal range is. If you want to play Country Roads, I think the original is in G. I'm not actually 100% sure on that, but G is a nice key to start with. You got G, D, E minor, and C. 4 nice easy chords. If that happens to be too high for your voice, you could chuck the capo on maybe the 4th fret, start on a C chord. Instead, this will bring it down to the key of E, which is about 3 semitones or 3 half steps lower than the key of G. So then if you started on C, the chords would become C, G, A minor, and F. Again, 4 nice easy chords, except for that F. For some of you who might be learning, F can be a bit trickier, but just persist, you'll get there eventually. So this is just one of those songs. It doesn't really matter how you play it. It doesn't matter what key you play it in. It's just a universal crowd pleaser, especially for retirement home gigs. It's guaranteed to go down well. And by the way, if you are looking for gigs other than retirement home gigs, I've actually put together a solo gig confidence checklist. It includes 30 crowd pleasing songs that are guaranteed to work at all types of venues, all types of gigs. It also has a booking email template that you can send to venues to try and get some gigs, and a few other tips to help you start landing paid gigs. So if you want to grab that guide for free, the link is below this video. All right, let's jump to category number 2, and that is 50s rock and roll. So 50s rock and like early Beatles stuff always goes down well because they're upbeat, fun, and full of energy. Now, Alan also said, "I was just exploring some 50s songs that might be popular. Haven't tried them yet. Elvis, Hound Dog, Jailhouse Rock, Don't Be Cruel, Blue Suede Shoes, Love Me Tender, Buddy Holly, Peggy Sue, That'll Be the Day, Bob Dylan, Mac the Knife, Bill Haley, Rock Around the Clock, Fats Domino, Blueberry Hill, Everly Brothers, Wake Up Little Susie, The Champs, Tequila, Roll Over Beethoven, Jerry Lee Lewis, Great Balls of Fire, whole lot of shaking going on, Little Richard, Good Ghoulie Miss Molly, Hank Williams, Hey Good Looking. So plenty of options to choose from that category as well. Now, one of these songs stands out to me, and that is Hound Dog by Elvis. The reason is because it's something that I play very often at my pubs and bar gigs. It's just one of those songs that if you want to get people dancing, it always works really well. People start bringing out the weird dance moves and stuff. I've never seen the likes of it for any other song. So if you want to play Hound Dog, the original is in C. So here's a C chord. C7 is nice for this song. So all you got to do is add the pinky finger to the G string on the 3rd fret. So here's a normal C. Here's a C7 with the pinky. So you're going to have that C or C7, F, back to C. Then you're going to have a G or G7 if you can. Again, for this type of song. And then back to the C. C7, F, G7. 3 chords, really easy. Let's go. You ain't none but a hound dog, crying all time. You ain't none but a hound dog, crying all time. No, you ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. They said you was high class, that was just a lie. Now, if you found that that was too high for your voice, the first thing I would do is I would find the same key with different shapes with a capo. So just a quick demonstration, that would be capo on the 3rd fret. You could play this now with an A7 instead of a C, right? So let me just show you. C7 or A7 on the 3rd fret. Same chord, still a C7. So now the chords are going to be A7, D, back to A7 and E7. So it's going to go like this. Now, it's still in the same key, remember. You ain't none but a hound dog. Now, because we've introduced the capo, we can drop it a fret or 2 if we want to bring it lower. So let's drop it to the 2nd fret or maybe even the 1st fret. Or actually, let's just get rid of the capo entirely. Now it's much lower in the key of A. So starting on that A7 chord. You ain't none but a hound dog, crying all time. You ain't none but a hound dog, crying all time. Oh, you ain't never got a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. They said you was high class. So now you can bring that song lower if that suits your voice better. If you're not sure how to change the key to suit your voice, I have an entire separate video on that where I go into much more depth on the topic and how to actually use the capo correctly, how to find different chord shapes. So if you want to check out that video, I'll post a link to that in the description as well. Okay, let's jump to category number 3, and that is country favorites. Now, classic country music is definitely a huge hit at these gigs. So songs from Johnny Cash, Glenn Campbell and Charlie Pride, these always go down well. Another one of our members, Stephen, he shared the following. Folsom Prison Blues, Johnny Cash. Gentle on My Mind, Glenn Campbell. He'll Have to Go, Jim Reeves. Ring of Fire, Johnny Cash. Silver Wings, Merle Haggard. King of the Road, Roger Miller. And another member, Joe, he added, songs that go over well include Looking Out My Back Door, CCR. Any Hits by Johnny Cash. Jet Plane, John Denver, Kiss an Angel Good Morning, Charlie Pride, Ghost Riders in the Sky, and Big Iron. Again, lots to choose from in that category. And again, some of those songs like Folsom Prison Blues always go down well in any type of gig. I think for a lot of people, it can be one of the first songs they learn on guitar. If you're going to play it in the same key as Johnny Cash, you're going to have a capo on the 1st fret, and you're going to start on an E, which makes this the key of F, right? So you've got E, A, and there's a B7, okay? I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling round the bend. I hadn't seen the sunshine since. Then you drop the 3rd finger to go to an E7 just before the transition. Seen the sunshine since, I don't know when, but I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps dragging on, but that train keeps rolling on down to San Antonio. Songs like that. Ring of Fire as well, another great one. I love to play it. I often play it in C. I'm not sure what the original key is for Ring of Fire. C, G, and F. Again, 3 chord songs. This is often all you need for any type of gig. Simple songs, simple strumming, simple rhythm. It really is just about your song choice. All right, category number 4, and that is golden oldies. Now, these songs span the 40s through the 70s, songs that bring back powerful memories. And Jerry, who gigs a lot in retirement centres, his list includes Happy Together by the Turtles, Neon Moon, Brooks and Dunn, What a Wonderful World, Louis Armstrong, I Love a Rainy Night, Bad Bad Leroy Brown, Pretty Woman, King of the Road, Roger Miller, Hey Good Lookin', Hank Williams. Songs like Pretty Woman and Bad Bad Leroy Brown, they just always go down well. And last but not least, category number 5, fun wildcards. Sometimes the most unexpected songs can create the best moments. This comment came up from Alan. He said, tequila would be cool with a kazoo for the sax part, I bet. It would be really entertaining to use one of those toy kazoos that look like a mini sax and to ham it up a little. Now Maps, he said, I played Those Were the Days and an older woman was hands up, swaying in the back with tears in her eyes, loving the moment. Recommended. I think the main thing with these types of gigs is just not to overthink it. You know, play the songs that you know that audience are going to appreciate. Now that post ended up having a lot more than just song recommendations. It was actually full of really helpful advice as well. Bob said, ask for requests and be prepared to play Sweet Caroline. Have fun and bring a smile and a story or two. And Jerry said, be sure to spend time talking and engaging way more so than you would at a regular venue. In other words, for these types of gigs, the connection really matters just as much as the music. So there you have it. I hope you found this video helpful. Now, I would love to know, for those of you who, already do these types of gigs as well, what songs do you play? What songs do you find that always work very well at retirement home gigs? Drop a comment below this video and let's make an even bigger list. And don't forget, if you want that solo gig confidence checklist for free, the link is below this video. I will see you in the next one.